Hi, I'm Diane Chapman. I go by Di, and I'm calling from here in Roswell, Georgia, and I'm watching GoTarryn TV.
Yeah, certainly. I got to check those out. That's interesting because, again, I knew that fitness was a big passion of yours, and I know that you're very active, and that segues me into my next question here about your inspirational writing. There's some videos that you sent me that I watched over the weekend before I was going to interview you. And my God, if anybody out there's listening who is not motivated or thinks that they don't have enough time to exercise or they just don't want to get into working out for any reason, they need to pay a special attention to this part of our audio podcast blog right now, because I'll let you take over here and talk about this lady, Beth Sanden, who has competed over 100 marathons and triathlons since a tragic accident that she had that left her wheelchair bound. Let's talk about her for a minute, please, because these were just something I never heard of her until you sent these to me, but wow. And I understand you've known her for over 20-some years, I believe?
I've known her for about 20 years, maybe 21
Okay.
at this point. We used to do a lot of work together in the fitness industry.
I see.
We used to do seminars, tandem. I would talk about how to create the business end of it successfully, and she would talk about the basics of exercise.
Okay.
And so we were buddies in that regard. We did a lot of work together. And that's who, to be honest, who I made the videotapes with. She produced those, and she asked me to be in those with her.
Very cool. Okay.
Which was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that, and I was really, really honored to be in them.
Sure.
But here's the thing. At 44 years old, she became an amazing athlete. She'd always been active as well. And she was a personal trainer, a fitness instructor, and she coached individuals in their fitness.
Okay.
And one day she started coaching a man who was 77 years old or something, who runs Ironman competitions. And if you haven't heard of Ironman competitions, you want to test the mettle about what you can do.
Mm-hmm.
Those babies are just amazing. You do over a 2-mile swim, then you hop on a bike, and I think you do 100 and some mile bike ride, and then you run a marathon.
Oh.
And it's all in one race.
Oh, my God.
Mind you. Well, she became, a champion marathoner, and she placed highly in the first Ironman she did in San Diego, California. She lives in San Clemente, California. And then she placed second in the Ironman La Jolla, San Diego, California. So she was able to go to the Kona Ironman competition.
Okay.
And then she came back and she did the San Diego Rock and Roll Marathon, where she qualified for the Boston Marathon.
Wow.
Shortly thereafter, she was in a 50-mile bike race, and her bike hit gravel and flew out from underneath her, and she fell on her back. And fortunately, there were lots of people in the race, including her husband, and and two of them who came upon her quite quickly. One was actually a doctor, and one was a paramedic. And they were the ones who stabilized her on the ground, and she had a massive concussion, and she had broken her T6 and T7. Those are thoracic vertebrae, and her spinal cord. She had cut her spinal cord. And it was unbelievable to watch her go through this. 3 months in the hospital, tremendous pain, a homecoming in a wheelchair and a body cast. And she really didn't know what her life would hold for her.
Wow.
And for 2 years, she struggled to be as active as she could be. Well, one day they threw her into the community swimming pool, and her husband said to her, "Look, you don't have legs, but you have arms, and you're a champion girl, so we're throwing you in this pool, and you're going to swim." She started swimming, and she started working with a physical therapist who had her on the bars, trying to get her motion in the legs, and would use electrical stimulation. Lo and behold, and she had another major surgery up in Colorado from a specialist who works with paraplegics. It was mostly to help relieve pain. He told her she'd never walk again, just as the doctors before had told her that she would be wheelchair-bound for the rest of her life. She came home, still had tremendous pain, but she achieved being able to use one leg with a cane. The other paralyzed leg, she learned to swing through from her waistline. She'd swing through this leg. The other leg would stand with the cane.
Wow.
And lo and behold, the doctor she walked into, and by the way, the back surgeon in Colorado, her bill was $12,000.
Oh my God.
And insurance didn't cover it, so she was making little monthly payments to him every month. And she went back, she flew up to Colorado, and she walked into his office.
Oh my God.
And no one on the planet had ever done that.
Oh.
And he looked at her and he said, "You owe me nothing."
Oh my God.
He did not take another dime from her.
That is amazing.
And,
wow.
Yes, and from there, Tarryn, she began racing again.
Jeez.
And she started out slowly with swimming. Because swimming, if you are paralyzed, if you don't have limbs, you will have that ability to float.
Yeah.
Of course. It helps you. So you start with swimming, and then she went to some other forms. Of course, she was walking, and she learned to use a recumbent bicycle. And since being paralyzed, she has run 4 Boston marathons.
Oh my God.
Yes. And over 110 triathlons and marathons.
Oh my God. Wow. And that includes also, can you talk about the continents too, Di?
Oh, my goodness. She decided that with the urgings of her friends, she has gained a lot of friends globally who do amazing things like climbing mountains. And well, the 7 Continents Marathon, it means that you go to every continent and you run a marathon, just like it sounds. She started with China, and she walked and bicycled the Great Wall of China Marathon, and you saw the video.
Yep, I saw it on the, yes.
Amazing. And the Great Wall of China has 22,000 steps, by the way.
Oh, I did not know that.
And they are not like regular steps.
Oh, I can imagine.
And she fell, and she'd get up and keep going, and she actually finished that marathon within 2 hours of the able-bodied time limit.
That's
unbelievable. And then she kept traveling. She went to Mount Kilimanjaro. She's been to Rome. She has been to, I'm trying to think of all the other ones. She's been to whatever, do we know the continents? Australia. And her last one was Antarctica.
Oh, my God.
The girl raced in Antarctica.
I had no idea you could even do that. That's amazing. Wow.
Oh, and, well, you know what happens with it. There are racers who push themselves, and they do these races, who do 7 continents in 7 days.
What? I can't even believe that would be possible. That's ridiculous. Jeez.
That's their deal. That's their deal. Yes.
Oh.
Yes. Yes. It's just, can you imagine? And boy, are they motivated. Oh, are they motivated? Oh, my gosh. Do they want that? They want it so bad.
Wow.
So Beth has run all of these races. She has she has 7 medals from 7 continents. And Tarryn, this is the next part of the story. And this, to me, is probably one of the most important. First off, she smiled. This girl smiles through pain, through effort. She never doesn't flash a smile. She is one of the most inspirational, fun, and delightful people you'll ever meet, and boy, does she smile all the time. As she went around the world, she discovered, of course, in Africa and Lima, Peru in particular, unbelievable amount of poverty. And yet, even with this destitution, it really is destitution. There are so many who have nothing there. Even with this destitution, lo and behold, disabled racers would come from nowhere to join her in the race. Racers who had no arms and legs, who were wheelchair bound with just their arms.
Oh, my God.
And they literally taped together the wheelchairs they used and whatever equipment they used. It was taped together with duct tape.
Unbelievable.
They used anything, yes, truly.
I'm trying to imagine this. This is unreal.
It is. Well, part of the pictures that she has, and they're going in the book, is of her in Lima at Kilimanjaro with these disabled racers. Like I said, they came out of nowhere as the starting line, the starting time approached. And they had nothing, but they wanted to get out so badly and do something so badly. They did this.
Wow. Unreal.
Yes. Yes. So now, and this really, like I said, is the most inspiring and important part of the story. Like, there's not a whole bunch of important things in here, right, or inspirational things. She does nothing now. She works part-time as a coach. She offers complimentary triathlon and Ironman coaching for the disabled. Does not charge a thing for her work with the disabled, getting them out of their homes and active. And the other thing that she does is she now gives back to the poverty-stricken areas she's been.
That's awesome.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes. Yeah. And all the money she earns now from her coaching and her triathlon, although she doesn't charge for that, but her personal trainer coaching with able-bodied people, anything she earns, she does part-time management of a fitness center. She now gives back.
This is an incredible story, Di. You have inspired me just from hearing this. I've got to make this a new resolution for me, is to get her on this show. I got to interview her.
Oh, yes, you must.
I
you
would.
must.
Oh my God! If I can interview her and then share that with all my clients and my network of fitness professionals, wow, we got to get her story out there. Seriously, that's amazing.
See, that's my feeling too. When she called me, she had said years ago when her paralysis started and she found herself starting to ambulate, which took a very long time. She told me, "You're going to write my story," because we had worked together, and as a writer, I'd helped her with some of her business material, all of her business materials years ago, when she was able-bodied, and she said, "You're going to write my story." Well, the years have gone by while she was competing all over the place, and of course, we kept up with each other, and of course, there's Facebook, and when I go back to California, we have lunch, and one day, out of the blue, last summer, I got an email from her saying, "Diane, I'm ready." That was it. "Diane, I'm ready." And I thought, well, my gosh, I am just, and I emailed her back and I said, "Beth, are you sure you want to use me?" I said, "You've been doing this for so long now. You've met so many incredible people. Do you really still want to use me?" I said, "Because if you don't, I will not be offended. You know, as a writer, you learn not to be offended. Because your work must be out there. And you must not tie your ego to it, ever. And people are going to like it or not like it." So I said, "Are you sure? Because if you want someone else, I understand." She said, "No, I'm sure. You're doing it." So we dove in.
That's just amazing. That's great. And how is the work on the book going so far, Di?
Oh, we're doing really, really well. We just have a couple more chapters to write, and we're going to do some crowdfunding because honestly, we've been paying for any expenses ourselves, and there are expenses. We need someone who can do the pay stuff. We need copies. There are many, many expenses that are involved for production of a book. And what we're going to do is take the book first to Kindle, because honestly, that's the least expensive thing for us to do.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yes, and we can get it out to our network. And Tarryn, we're going to do the usual things. We're going to do 99 cents a download. And we'll start there. And, of course, she has a very large social media following. We have LinkedIn following. We have, Twitter. We have Facebook. So the campaign will be on those social media platforms. And by the way, Tarryn, we're going to have, it won't be a contest, but we're going to ask everyone on Facebook to help us name the book.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yes, and we've come up with 3 different titles.
Okay.
And we're going to shoot them out there.
Good.
And whichever one gets the most quote-unquote votes will be the title of the book.
Excellent. Is it too early to ask what the titles are right now, or should we wait?
It's a little early.
Okay.
It's a little early, but they're definitely going to be overcoming. You can't use the term overcoming the odds. Everybody's got that. But it'll be something about overcoming odds to find your purpose.
I love it.
Because that's what happened with Beth.
Yeah.
She found her purpose.
Yeah, that's just
and that
so
is
touching.
to help others.
Yeah, exactly.
Globally.
Yeah. Wow. What an unreal. Wow. I can't wait for the book to come out. I'll be one of the first people to get a copy.
We'll let you know.
Yeah,
do you have Kindle, or do you want to wait till it's in paperback?
Yeah. I mean, I could download it on Kindle, or either way, it'd probably get a good idea for me to get a few copies of it in paperback and share them with some of my clients once it gets published.
That'll be the next thing we crowdfund. After Kindle sales, we'll go ahead and use the Kindle sales income to go ahead and publish it in paperback. And Tarryn, you'll get signed copies.
Beautiful, very smart. Honestly, that will be just tremendous to get her on and interview her. I would love to pick her brain and for her to be on here and just ask her to share her stories, one-on-one in person via podcast. That's just tremendous. I can't believe it.
Yeah, and you'll be, you'll be one of the first.
Please.
In fact, if you want, you can be the first, because I intend to get her. Her story is so phenomenal.
Yeah.
I'm not, you can be first, and I'm going to go from there.
I'd be honored. Anything I could do, let me know, please. I'll be available. I'll just clear my schedule, whatever I need to do. This is just great. Wow, just wonderful.
Well, it's easy for me to set that up for you, and I'd be thrilled to do it.
Yeah, thank you.
I am just so thankful that this has come my way.
Yeah.
It's just marvelous.
It is. Yeah.
It's just the most wonderful thing for me to do.
Yeah.
And I've told her over and over, this is your story. I'm just the conduit to get this out there.
Well, I'm sure for you it's got to be an honor as well. And
it is very much an honor, and I am throwing myself into it. You can imagine how much I'm throwing myself into it. It just, as a writer, it just flows for me, because there is so much purpose in it.
Yep.
And my purpose is to communicate to the world messages that lift them up.
Well,
and so it's wonderful for me to do.
Yeah, I'm not just saying this, but if there's anyone that can do it, and I know that and everyone else, you're the person to do it. And she obviously picked you because she entrusts you, and there's only one person that can tell the story. So I think that's the smartest idea for you to do it. So and you'll do great on it too. I can't wait.
I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah,
I really do.
Certainly.
I feel that that my heart is into it so much.
Yeah.
That I was really a great choice, because I know her so well, and I've seen what she's gone through.
Yeah.
And watching that, it creates a different person in you.
Yeah. I'm sure she'll be interested too when it gets finalized to read it from your perspective too. Once it's finished, so she can read it herself. That's truly amazing. And Di, I've truly enjoyed here we are, almost an hour together here, and I would love to have you back on as well. This was just a wonderful podcast, learning more about you and everything that you're doing. I truly enjoyed it, so I definitely want to have you. I'd love to have Beth on, and I can't thank you enough and appreciate your time. Before we let you go, let's plug some information here and get this back on the screen so people can take this down. If anybody has a pen and paper, or if they're listening, let's get one more time. What was the website for Power Connections, please?
Power Connections, and where you'll find my blogs. The website address is Power Connections Inc. It's Power Connections with an S, Connections, Inc.com.
Good.
And that is where you'll find a lot of professional information, the branding work that we do, our philosophy. We're what they call a boutique service. We're small, and everyone gets individualized attention.
Good. Perfect.
We're all about making sure that we are meeting with individuals. They get to know us. We get to know them. There's nothing computerized they have to do. And then my humorous writing is at askdi, askdi.wordpress.com.
Perfect. Now, if anybody...
And if you don't, if you don't see a woman there in a blue sweatshirt and a white jacket smiling in what looks like a really small plane, you're not on the right site.
Absolutely. We'll get that on the screen so people can make sure that they're at the right one. And then finally, what about, we'll definitely stay tuned and stay connected on the book with Beth as well, of course. I'll ask you about that next time we have you on here. We'll see how that's going. But if anybody's listening and they want to reach you directly, is there a best method of contact for yourself for them to reach you?
They can reach me at either Di Chapman at dichapman.com. And I don't have a website up right now, very long story, but I'm so involved in other websites I decided what the heck. But I still take my email at that, dichapman.com or at dichapman.com. Geez, do you think I can get that out there? And then my phone, I'm happy to take phone calls at 949-275-8188.
Perfect. Good. We'll have that on the screen as well so people can take that down as well if they're watching. But Di, this was wonderful. Again, I can't thank you enough for your time. What a wonderful podcast. I really enjoyed this. This is probably one of the most inspirational podcasts that I've ever done because, again, the story of Beth is just amazing, and I'm sure anybody listening, they're going to want more. So I can't wait again for that book to be published, and I'll definitely be one of the very first people to read it, and I can't wait for it. That's amazing. That's great.
I so appreciate that, Tarryn. That is so wonderful to me, and we can absolutely make sure that you can interview Beth, and
Please.
It might also be fun for you to interview the two of us at once.
That would work too.
That would be
yeah,
really great.
Certainly.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what I'm going to do. If I haven't already, I know I've sent a whole bunch of things off to you. I'd like to send you this last chapter that I wrote, and it's called Beth's Commitment to Getting Back.
Please do.
If you want to take a look at that chapter,
definitely.
I'm happily to email that to you, and I do have your email address, so I'd be happy to do that for you.
Yeah, that's great. I'll be on the lookout for it. And let me know, please, your schedule, Di, when we can have you back on. We'll delve more into other humorous blogs that you've written and some of your other inspirational writings, too. And, again, just I can't thank you enough for your time coming on today, and really enjoyed talking and catching up with you, too. Okay, everybody, there you have it, Di Chapman of Power Connections, and I really enjoyed having her here on this podcast today. You learned so much about her being the Chief Communication Officer and blogger of Power Connections, but also the different blogs that she's writing about, humorous and inspirational blogs, so make sure to check it out. You got all of her contact information. She even gave you her phone number, too, so that way she is easily accessible. And Di, if you're watching by any chance, thank you so much for coming on. I told you this after we were done recording. I truly enjoyed that podcast. I think that was the most inspirational podcast that I've ever done of these 400 and some blogs that I've done on here. So very well done. I can't wait to talk to Beth as well. Beth Sanden, we got to have her here on the podcast so we can help promote her book and everything that she's doing. Just a wonderful lady. I haven't even met or talked to her yet, but I can already tell she truly is amazing. And you, again, gave such a great job there on the story of telling us how she got to this point. But unbelievable. I can't wait to meet and talk to her very soon here, Diane. Again, please keep me posted about the book. Let's definitely have you back on here on a future GoTarryn TV podcast. But everyone else out there, hope you enjoyed that podcast interview as much as I did. Again, Di Chapman, you got to check her out today, folks. And I want want to thank everyone out there for watching today's video blog. If you ever need to catch any of these other blogs, make sure to go check out GoTarryn.tv, and that way you can see all the archive blogs right there for you. Other things that you could do in the meantime, please make sure to like GoTarryn on Facebook, subscribe to GoTarryn on YouTube, and follow GoTarryn on Twitter, and that'll keep you connected with yours truly, Tarryn the Traveling Trainer, master of the personal training universe, the guy who always brings all of these awesome guests right here on these video blogs and audio podcasts. And also, remember, one last thing to tell everyone out there, GoTarryn Personal Training is your time, your investment in your life. Thanks so much for watching today, folks, and we'll see you on the next video blog podcast.